evening, everyone. I'm so excited that you've joined us this evening, and I can't wait to hear all the great things that Tiffany's going to be sharing with us. But I had a thought today about how soldiers in an army they go out to fight battle, and I can't help but believe that we are fighting a battle to save folks from Alzheimer's. And I am so thankful that each and every one of you are part of CART. And I know Tiffany's going to go into a lot of detail about our upcoming annual meeting, but I just want to say to you that I want you to join us. I'm so excited that we're going to be able to celebrate 30 years of CART. We're going to be able to invest more money in research than we've ever done. And I hope that you will really think about taking the time to join us either for the reception and the conference, or just the reception. We want you to be there to celebrate. So Tiffany, I'm not going to take up any more time. I'm going to let you do that. And if y'all excuse me 1 second, I want to get my cord so that I don't run out of juice during this call. I'll be right back.
Great. Thank you, Carol. All right, so we have a lot of materials to go over tonight. We're going to talk a lot about the annual meeting because it is coming up in about 4 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks at this point, 3 weeks from this week, I believe. So, but first we have a public image moment this month, and I've asked Erin Andrews, many of you know her in a couple of different roles. She is the District Public Image Chair for 6920 in Georgia. She's also the owner of Civic Swag, which is a licensed Rotary vendor, and she was the first of all the vendors to come on and start producing CART merchandise. And so we are very grateful for all the work that she has done with us over the years. She also serves on our Public Image Committee, and she is a sponsor of the upcoming annual meeting. And she is donating a very special item that's going to remain tip-top secret right now. We're gonna you guys will find out what that is at the annual meeting, and the only way to get one is if you come, because it is a limited edition special item. But Erin is going to talk to us tonight a little bit about storytelling, especially as we are getting near the end of this fiscal year. It's a great time to start planning for the next fiscal year as well. So Erin, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you, Tiffany. I'm excited to be here, and I'm really excited to come to the annual meeting in 3 weeks. Wow, time flies. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to share some tips with you to help the CART Fund with its public image. So I'm going to share my screen. Can everybody see it? No? I think I have to actually hit share. How about now? All right, good deal. So my public image moment this week is to talk about the CART Fund and public image. And what I want to do is I want to help you guys amplify CART's reach through consistent and branded storytelling. All right, so why it matters. So we all know about the blue buckets. We've had them for 30 years now. Is that correct? We've had blue buckets all 30 years. They started collecting coins in them. But I don't think blue buckets is what's gonna raise the funds by themselves. We need to start telling the stories of people with Alzheimer, the people that Alzheimer impacts, the why behind why we have the CART Fund, why it got started. And public image is a way that you can bridge donations and inspiration. All right, so the CART storytelling formula, sorry. There's 5 key steps to this. They're easy and simple, and these 5 steps will help increase awareness of the CART Fund and Alzheimer's research, and hopefully increase donations. Number one, the number one thing you should do is start with a face. Highlight a caregiver, highlight a researcher, highlight a Rotarian who's experienced Alzheimer in their life. I I know for me personally, one of my most impactful moments with Alzheimer that if I think about it, still makes me cry to this day is when my grandmother was in the nursing home and she her Alzheimer's was progressing at a rate. And but one thing that really impacted me is when I was a kid, I would always go and go to my grandparents' house and they had a gospel singing group. And so as you're in, I was visiting my grandmother. Sometimes she remembers you, sometimes she does not. But one thing she missed was playing the piano, and she played by ear. Um, and so I talked her into playing the piano at the nursing home. And when she did, I just started crying because I remembered all those times I'd spent with her. And I was just astounded that she can remember to play the piano, even if she can't remember my name or her kids' names. And so that's just that's just one little weird thing about Alzheimer's that I think if you tell stories like that, people start to listen to you. Number two, the CART connect to Rotary. So I believe, right now CART is primarily funded by Rotarians. Share how the clubs are supporting CART, their blue buckets, their events, their campaigns. So I know they just had this campaign this past weekend, Cars for CART, which I think is really awesome because I'm a car buff myself. And it made me start thinking, what are we doing to actually raise funds? And if this is raising funds, how are we sharing it? So that was the Greenville City Center Club. Did they share it across the district? Ask them, can you please share my events across the district? And that way you'll get people in other clubs who are passionate about maybe Alzheimer's research and cars, and you'll get unexpected people showing up at your event. So just ask to be shared. Add emotion and hope. Using real emotion, it reminds people what's at stake and what's possible. I know that, you know, when you start talking about the emotion and the feelings you get when your grandmother or your mother or whoever it is maybe, you know, dealt with Alzheimer's, then that's drawing people's attention. They want to hear what you got to say and they want to hear your story. And in a lot of cases they can relate. So um I would say, just be relatable and share emotion and hope. Right now we don't have a cure, but the CART Fund is giving us hope that one day we will have a cure. Number four, end with a call to action. So invite people to donate, to share your stories, to share your events, support their local Rotary CART efforts, and use the QR code. Tiffany has made it so super simple to donate. I never carry cash, hardly ever. Certainly don't carry coins, but I use the QR code to donate. If I want to give an extra donation every month, then I use the QR code. But I also am a recurring giver, and I encourage that in my club to be a recurring giver to CART. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but just encourage that call to action so that those dollars are raised. All right. How can you as leaders help support your clubs? How many clubs does a CART chair typically have for a district?
It could be anywhere from 40 to 70.
Okay. So 40 to 70. So share your templates, create some templates that you can share with those clubs. Provide them ready-made story posts and branded graphics, and just ask them to share them on their social pages, their e-newsletters, their websites. Make the content easy to find. Clubs, remember, you can download your images, your logos, promotional content, anything that Tiffany has written or shared through a newsletter, through the website, on social media. you could use that content as your own to share the CART message. Use and reuse the official messaging. I love the theme from coins from coins. I love it and I forgot it.
From pocket change
Right,
to
change
lasting
to lasting change. Yes, I love that. So repeat that when you're talking to people. Clubs, you know, make sure you get included in your district newsletters, your club newsletters. Spotlight successes. So, one thing I see that Cart Fund does is they share out leaderboards to tell what clubs are succeeding in their areas. So that's something you can do in your own district. So share out graphics with leaderboards and tell the stories of the clubs who have done something amazing to help the Cart Fund and to raise awareness. And then featuring the standout storytelling efforts in the newsletters, Zoom calls, social channels. Encourage public image champions. So I think just by encouraging them to share your content in the clubs, then you are encouraging public image champions. But every club should have a designated CART public image champion to lead the storytelling and promotion. And personally, in our club, I don't think we have a CART champion, and we should have a CART champion. And even while I'm saying this, I know who that champion should be because she already supports Alzheimer's efforts and walks and things of that nature. So she would certainly be a go-to person to support, be our CART champion in our club. Ask your district public image team to share the stories. Ask them to share it on their social channels, on their websites, their blogs, anywhere that they're willing to share it. Ask them to share that information so that the message is shouted loud and clear amongst the districts. Set a goal. So here's a challenge for you guys. Set yourself a goal. Maybe you do 10 stories in 30 days. Or maybe you do 30 stories in 30 days if you're really aggressive. But encourage your clubs to share one CART story on Facebook, Instagram, website, email within the next month. And you'll see that a ripple effect will start happening. And you'll see more and more people start sharing those stories. But actively get out there and ask your clubs to be a champion and to share the CART stories. And then the closing thought, if we want more people to give, we need to give them more to fill. Let's lead a movement where every coin in a bucket echoes online through a story worth sharing. Does anybody have any questions about public image or anything I could do to help?
Now's your chance to ask the expert if you guys have questions. That was great, Erin.
So I do have
Thank
a
you.
question. This is Cara. So
Hey, Cara.
what I have the biggest problem with is sustainability. Like if I go talk at a club, I'll see a spike, but it's not it doesn't seem to have staying power. Same with when I send a P-mail out to I have 49 clubs. I'll send it out and I'll see a few checks will come in from the but then it doesn't stay. There's no staying power. So, and I guess maybe it's just, but I don't want to send an email or a reminder every week. You know, I want it to like catch on with everybody. So I guess I'm asking, how do other people keep it rolling?
Do you have the CART champions in each club?
I have asked that every club have a CART chair. And I've even said, if you don't have a specific CART chair, maybe the treasurer could be the ambassador for CART. But every club, I want a CART chair, but if I can't get a CART chair designated in DAC-DB, then at least on a CART ambassador. So yes, I have asked for that. That's actually when you talk about goal setting, that was one of my goals for this year, is that every single club in my district have a CART chair or ambassador, and every single club makes some type of donation. I don't even care if it's $5. Every club, and I'm yet to get that done, and it's almost June 30th, and I'm like getting very antsy.
Maybe you could have a challenge, especially if it's almost June 30th and you have your last month. Have a challenge next month. You know, give them a challenge. Have them competing against each other and playing off of each other, and come up with some kind of social media newsletter, website. Give them a challenge to see who can raise the most money and who can share the best stories, and have some small reward for that. It doesn't have to be anything big, but
Okay.
I think if you give them a challenge, and they will stand up and do it.
Okay, perfect. I'll do it.
Erin,
Yes.
what I've done in my club, I'm the district CART chair for 7690. What I've done in my club is we no longer put those blue buckets out every week, because we found that putting them out once a month is more effective. And what I've done for the last 4 years is recruited each year a different CART champion for each month.
Oh,
So at the beginning,
Yeah.
it's at the beginning of the meeting, after the initial introductions, the president of the club calls a CART champion up for that month, who speaks from personal experience about their experience with CART or family member, whatever, and then makes a donation into the bucket. And we found when we went to that program, we tripled what we were getting in the buckets from putting them out every month. So each year, I just recruited last month next year's CART champions, a different one for each month. And the way I identify those is every time I give a CART presentation, the first thing I ask is how many people in the room have personal experience with CART. And then when the people raise their hands, I ask them to keep them raised up, and I ask everyone else to look around. And then out of those people, that's where I find my champions. So
Yeah.
it's much more impactful when someone speaks from personal experience than something they read on the internet or, in the news and all of that stuff. So that's
Yeah.
what I've been doing, and it's been working for me. And I've tried to get a CART chair in every club to address what Cara was saying. Some clubs just aren't interested. And, I've worked very hard. Tiffany and I have had discussions about one club in our district that is the largest club in the district and will have nothing to do with CART. And, it's very frustrating, but let's work with the ones that will work with us. And that's where we can make the most difference.
Yeah. And another thing you could do, and this is what I did my year as president, is set a per capita goal for everybody. My per capita goal was only $25 a year, and some people just went ahead and stroked that check. And I didn't ask for CART donations every week or every month. Sometimes we would do happy dollars for it, but just by given the expectations of $25 per person per year, our club's giving was higher that year.
Excellent. Any other questions for Erin about storytelling or public image? Yeah,
Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for being with us. I know you have another call here shortly, but you will see Erin at the annual meeting. She will be there, and she is donating a percentage of all of the sales that she has made of CART merchandise. So we'll be finding out what that's going to be also at the annual meeting. So with that being said, I will just add one other thing. I know some of you guys were talking about the matches. I think that's always an excellent idea. Just as an FYI, the Rotary Club of Asheville, North Carolina this year decided to ask someone to match what was in the bucket every week.
Wow.
And to ask them to do up to $50. And so what's happened is there has been a member that has sent in $50 every week, and that has really changed their giving. So matches are a great way to easily increase your giving. So thank you, Tom, for sharing that as well. All right, Erin, thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank you.
All right, so I have some updates for you all on the annual meeting, since we were just talking about that. As you know, it is June 12th and 13th. The reception will be on Thursday evening, the 12th, from 5:30 to 6:30. There is no charge to attend that, but we do need you to register so that we know how many people are coming, because there will be beer and wine served, and some appetizers and a champagne toast that is in honor of the 30th anniversary that our own board president, Carol Burdett, is sponsoring that. And we have amazing sponsors that are covering all of the cost of the reception, so that there is no expense even coming out of our operating account for that. It is all being covered by sponsors. So we're very grateful for that. You'll be hearing a lot more about those folks coming up in the next 3.5 weeks. I also wanted to share with you, in case you didn't see the announcement that came out last week. It came in an email to you guys, and then it was posted on Facebook on Friday, that we have a keynote speaker at our lunch session at the annual meeting. And that's going to be completely different than anything we've ever done before. But we have the top 2 researchers. They're both getting $500,000 each. There's the top award is named in memory of Roger Ackerman, and that's Dr. Vivian Chung, and she is from Brown University, I believe. And then the next top researcher is Ted Zwang. Dr. Zwang is from Harvard, and each of them are getting $500,000 each. They will be making short presentations of about 20 minutes about their projects, and then have a little time for Q&A after that. And then the other 4 researchers, who are all getting $250,000 each, will be part of a panel discussion after lunch, where we will not have 4 more consecutive 30-minute death by PowerPoint, as we do so often in so many events. This way, we have given them an opportunity to, we're going to have a discussion with them, and we're going to let them talk about their projects, but answer some questions. And so we have a Rotarian that will be leading that panel discussion, and that should be a really great opportunity to do things a little bit differently. But then in addition to that, the keynote speaker during lunch will be a motivational speaker who also has a personal story. As you just heard Erin talk about, storytelling is so important. And Wes Durham is known to many from the Greensboro area, in fact. But also, I know Glenda and I were talking earlier, they're big Georgia Tech fans, so they're very happy. She's very happy that he's coming as well. He's also the voice of the Atlanta Falcons now. But many people first knew him because of his late father, Woody Durham, who was the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels forever. And his dad, Woody, passed away with aphasia, which is a form of dementia. And so Wes very frankly talks about his experiences with what he and his family went through, and also maybe throw a few little sports stories in there as well. And he is speaking to us at no charge because he was so impressed with what we do and who we are. So we're very excited to have him coming. So if you have not shared that post from our social media page, please do that so that other people will know that you're not just getting lunch, you're not just hearing from the researchers, but you're also getting a motivational program from a highly sought after ESPN official and public speaker. So we're very excited about Wes being there, and also the opportunity for you to get to talk to the researchers and get to know them a little bit. And they will all be in attendance on Thursday night at the reception, so you'll have a chance to mingle with them. And then we will be breaking into small groups for dinner. And if you are interested in going with to one of those with one of the researchers, we will have some sign-up sheets that evening. We have aides that are assigned to each of the researchers, and they'll be coordinating each of the dinners. And so they'll be collecting names of people who would like to go with them. So we're looking forward to that. That's going to be on Thursday night, and then of course the event all day on Friday. If you are only coming in for the event on Friday, there will be a board meeting held that morning from 8:30 to 9:30. You're welcome to attend that if you want. If you don't want to, we're going to have a short break after that, and then the annual meeting will be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. That will be a recap of the board meeting from our president. That will be a state of CART, and it will be presentations by the 2 top researchers with the keynote speech and the panel discussion, as well as a few special awards that we're going to be presenting that we've never done before as well. So it's going to be a totally different event. If you've attended one of these in the past, it's going to look nothing like what we've done in the past. And I think that is the key. When you're encouraging members from your district to attend, please tell them this is going to be completely different than anything we've ever done before. Because as I travel around, people say, "Oh, I came to that many years ago in Columbia. It's very difficult to understand. It's a long day." So tell them it's going to be completely different this year, and we hope that lots of folks will still want to attend. As a point of reference, we have already exceeded last year's registrations, so we're very excited about what we're having in Charlotte. I think that Charlotte is an exciting opportunity for people, and of course, DG Kevin is on the call tonight, and we are so grateful for his support, both financially as a sponsor, but also just emotional and support as well, mental health support for some of us as well, making sure that it's going to be a great event. And so we want to encourage lots of folks to sign up. If they have not signed up yet, please have them go to DACTB. And if you have not looked in DACTB lately, there is a brand new addition to the DACTB calendar. If you may recall, in years past, for the last 3 years that I've been doing this, we have encouraged folks to select the box that says multi-district events in order to find all of the CART activities. That has gone away, and there is now a category called CART events. We have our own category in DACTB. And so folks can select CART events, and all of our events will show up in their DACTB calendar. And they can unselect the ones they don't want, just like they do now, whether it's club events or multi-district or fundraisers or official governor visits or conferences, whatever. You can select and unselect. But we want to tell people now, if they're looking for our events, make sure they select CART events in the DACTB calendar, and all of our stuff will show up. So that's a really exciting addition that DACTB has done for us just in the last few weeks. In addition to that, I mentioned that we're going to be giving away some awards this year at the annual meeting, and that will be recognizing the top 3 districts in giving last year, but also something new that we're calling the Spirit of CART Awards. And those are going to be clubs that have given $25,000 or more in last fiscal year. Because this is June, we're not recognizing this current year. These are the donations from 23-24. This is going to become a recurring program. So we want to make sure we tell clubs that there's still time in the next 6 weeks for them to make donations to get up to $25,000 if they have not yet, in order to be recognized next year as part of the Spirit of CART Awards. Now, that being said, I wanted to share some good news. I'm sorry, neither of them are with us tonight, but I did get a call today from a Rotary Club in Florida that recently did a golf tournament for us. And I'm not going to spoil their great news, but let's just say it is more than enough to be in the Spirit of CART Award. And in fact, it well exceeds $50,000. I'm not going to lie. It is so much better than it was even last year. And the Rotary Club of Asheville-Biltmore in District 7670 held their event this past weekend, which they do a walk. And if you didn't see the clip of it, I shared the Channel 13 news clip about it on our Facebook page for CART, because they got great media coverage. They talked about CART. They talked about memory care. They actually split their proceeds with 3 different organizations. So the news story was very comprehensive, talking about CART, memory care, and Manna Food Bank. But their event raised more than $160,000, and that's going to be split 3 ways. And so again, we have a lot of great clubs out there doing some amazing things. And as Erin said earlier, we want to make sure we're telling their stories, that we are sharing their successes and their events and things like that. I know there's at least 2 more events coming up in Kevin's district. We've been trying to share the Albemarle Club has their big event coming up next weekend, I believe, and another one as well. So if I missed something, please let me know so that I can make sure I see it and I can share it on our pages. But please feel free to do that on your social media and on your club or district social media as well. All right. Now, I also wanted to mention one more thing about the board meeting coming up. I sent out an email to all of the district CART chairs about a week or so ago, letting you know that we are changing the bylaws of CART. and there will be 3 open positions starting in July for district CART chairs to serve a 1-year term. And so just a quick reminder, if you are interested in serving in that role and being considered for that role, because we have 25 or so people to choose from. So there is a lot of interest, obviously. But if that is something that you would be interested in, please don't forget to send me a reply to the email I sent with the instructions of what all I need from you. If you'll email me that before the end of May, then we will have that. The executive committee will cull through that and make their recommendations once that is finalized with the new bylaws. We also talked at the beginning of the year, we had a dashboard. We asked district chairs to do certain things throughout each month. I'm going to be sending out a reminder of what all those were for the entire year and find out who all has done a majority of them. And we're going to try to do some special recognition for that. And then moving forward, we're going to try using a Google Doc for that next year so that there's a easier way for people to track that and to communicate and that kind of thing. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention tonight, in addition to upcoming dates, which I'm going to get to finally, is the donor portal. I feel like I say this every month, but it bears repeating that there are 3 different types of donations that can be made in the donor portal. There is club, there is individual, and there is district. And so if you are entering in a gift on behalf of someone, please make sure you get it done correctly. But if you are training people how to do that, if you could make sure to point that out to them and to let them know, assure our Rotarians that if they are making a personal gift, it will automatically be added to the cumulative total for their club. They do not have to select a club gift. If Rod Funderburk makes a gift, it will automatically be added to the total of his club. And that is true for every Rotarian. And the other thing is, if we can remind people that if they are a Rotarian, they have an account. They do not need to create an account on that homepage when you log in to the portal. They simply use their DACDB username and their DACDB login. When they create a new account, then it makes it look like they are not a member of a club and they have 2 accounts, as Rod just said. Yes, they have 2 accounts in the portal, and it takes some extra work to clean that up after the fact. It can be done, but we're trying to limit the amount of cleanup work that we're doing these days. So if you could help us as a district chair by reiterating to folks that it's an individual gift, it will count in their club's total, and to use their DACTV login. And if they have trouble getting in, there is a help desk button on that portal. And if they click that, someone will get back to them. All right.
Also, may I add, if you send money through the portal, then don't send the check, because that's happened 2 or 3 times recently.
That is correct. That is correct. If you enter it in the portal, you do not need to mail the check. But as a district chair, we will ask you to hold on to the check, because what happens is when you enter a check into the portal, it will say check accepted. And that may or may not actually be the case. As we have learned now, sometimes 6 months later, we will find out that the check did not clear the bank for whatever reason, and we have to take that physical check to the bank and deposit it. And so if you are holding on to checks and it could be any number of reasons, what it says on the portal, check accepted, that means that it looks good. It doesn't mean that it cleared their bank. So there is a big difference. So if you will hold on to those checks, and we'll go over all of this again in July when we do another orientation and training session. But if you will remember those, thank you, Glenda, for reminding me of that. You do not need to mail it if you have deposited online, but you do need to hold on to those checks. All right, just a reminder, we had lunch a la carte last week, and there will not be one during the month of June because we'll be hearing from researchers. And there is not yet one scheduled for July, but I know that Bill Parker is working on that. But there are some already scheduled for August and September. And so if you will check those dates on the calendar and get them on your calendar, that would be great. And August 13th and September 17th for those. And let me see if there was anything else I have on my list. I do not have anything else Oh, I'm just going to mention, I'm going to send out one more e-news to everybody on our e-news list about annual meeting, not the monthly newsletter like I normally do. That won't go out till June. But tomorrow, hopefully, maybe Thursday, I plan to get out an email specifically about the annual meeting. Again, if you're not on that list, I can't sign you up. You have to opt in. So you just go to cartfund.org and click sign up for newsletter. But encourage your club members, your district members to sign up for that as well. Or the other thing you can do, as Erin mentioned earlier, is cut and paste anything from one of those e-news and use it in your club newsletter, forward it to your district public image chair or district governor leadership and ask them to share it as well. Because anything that I send out is fair game to just cut and paste, use those photographs at any time. That is going to be another push for registration. If you did not get a hotel room in our block, we have sold it out twice. And at this point, we are not adding any others to the block because of the number that we would have to add. I cannot guarantee that we would hit that next number. However, I did talk to the hotel today, and they do have rooms available. They're just not at our discounted rate, but their rate is very good. I think it's $159. It's not very high at all. So if people ask you about a room, just tell them to go ahead and call the hotel directly and let them know that they're coming for CART, but they will not get the CART discounted rate. They will just need to make their own reservation. Okay. All right. Well, if no other questions, I'm going to say thank you to each of you for being here tonight. This recording will go on our YouTube channel. We will not have a CART conversations during the month of June because of the annual meeting, but we will resume with the third Thursday in July. Unfortunately, there will be some months that we have to change the date due to events and things that a lot of us have to be at. So just keep in mind, we'll try to get those out sometime next month. We'll get the whole year out there, knowing that a few of them may have to change from time to time. But we certainly appreciate everything that you guys do. And we know that we could not do this without you.